interesting and picturesque of Santa Cruz County's industries, lumbering. Busy sawmills dot the forested countryside, for Santa Cruz County is Redwood Country, and lumbering is of major importance.
Taking a fresh look at the damage from the CZU lightning complex fire raging in Santa Cruz County.
The wildfires are burning across the Bay Area in a set of 3 major fire complexes.
Firefighting resources are being stressed to the max.
It's been over a year since the most destructive wildfires in Californian history. Although Big Basin State Park remains closed since, it's still possible to see the charred remains of some of its lost forestry on its boundaries. Big Basin State Park was founded in 1902, becoming the first state park to be established in California. Its redwoods, aging to be nearly 2 millennia old, were recognized to be in danger of logging, clearing, and urbanization if not protected. Meanwhile, the largest logging operation in Santa Cruz history was taking place. 6 simultaneously running logging camps practiced clear cutting in the San Vicente redwoods to extract a total of 400 million feet of lumber over a period of 14 years starting in 1908. Much of the timber extracted was found to be useless due to the hollow nature of old-growth redwoods. And as the industry declined, more attention was brought to the preservation of these old-growth forests. In the meantime, communities established along Highway 9 and a railway between San Jose and Santa Cruz would continue to emerge, and the population of Santa Cruz County grew significantly from the 50s through the 80s. Today, the redwoods and their surrounding forests face a new threat. From 2020 through 2021, California wildfires burned more than 6.8 million acres, causing around $20 billion worth of damage to 14,000 homes and buildings. The most recent fire seasons have seen the worst of damage on record to occur to California forests. In the last major disaster to Santa Cruz Mountains, 97% of Big Basin State Park was burned down across 86,000 acres and destroyed nearly 1,000 homes. Communities including Boulder Creek, Bonnie Doon, and Felton would be devastated during the natural disaster. Residents caught in the core of the fire's area, such as Christopher Ori, found themselves on the front lines of the fire as the burn-through communities cemented in Santa Cruz history.
I was teaching a night class that I teach online, and in that time, my phone was kind of just going off as parts of Boulder Creek were being evacuated. And as the night went on and I was watching, the evacuation orders kept inching closer and closer to where we are. And while my family had already gone to bed, I began to realize that there's a pretty good chance that we were going to be evacuated.
The SCU and LNU fires covered an area totaling over 396,000 and 363,000 acres of the Diablo Mountain Range and Sonoma County, respectively. The sheer scale and velocity of the fire season would be enough to overwhelm units and jurisdictions such as those under district chiefs like Ed Ori's.
When the CZU fire started, there were numerous other fires that began from the same cause. It was a lightning storm that went past through the area, and when the CZU complex started, the SCU complex simultaneously started. That so many fires started simultaneously that it just overwhelmed the system.
Further up north, the August Complex fires and its adjacent North Complex fire further made resources stretch thin. The latter would burn over an area larger than the state of Rhode Island and would become the largest complex fire in modern Californian history.
Basically, the fire got really, really close to our house. In the end, it got about 500 feet from our house. The firefighters kind of stopped it just in time, and we ended up being allowed to go back to our house after about 3 weeks.
The fire was claimed to have been fully contained by CAL FIRE by September 2020, although reports of smoldering redwoods persisted months after the fire's supposed full containment by CAL FIRE well into 2021. For many survivors of the tragedy, the real struggle didn't begin until long after the fires were extinguished. Rebuilding, contracting, even recovering from the loss of their home has proven difficult for those living in the mountains.
Dealing with insurance is a real pain. I think in the end we went through 8 claim adjusters. So the claim adjusters are the ones that sort of look at your policy and look at the extent of your damage and your claim, and then determine what is appropriate compensation for it. And they move incredibly slow. One person described it to me as, they would rather drag it out and see you die than to have to pay out what they owe you because of what your policy covers and what you're owed.
In the future, wildfires in California are only expected to become worse. As much as preparations for the future are necessary, the lives and well-being of thousands of residents hang in the balance, as the places they called home are constantly threatened by destruction.
Well, if people will look out for each other, help each other out, volunteer where they can, assist state parks or other organizations that are trying to do this heavy lift of trying to restore the environment. Nature will take care of it on its own, but there's much we can do to prevent like invasive species coming in after the fire, and reforesting a little bit quicker so that we can enjoy the forest that used to be there.